What the fuck is this? Yes, go away from the ships. Please stop this. You're fucking kidding. What the fuck? Dude, little ship, fucking do this. Please. I think we did it. Oh my god. What the fuck is that? How far? We're pretty far away. Fuck! God. Okay, I'm pretty beat up. Alright, how's everybody doing? This is Luke the Duke. And as you guys can see from the beginning of this episode, we almost lost this thing. So before I even got the opportunity to show anybody what I was creating, something happened with the connector. So this happens not very frequently, so I've only seen this happen about a couple times, and to ships of a much smaller scale. What ended up happening is I connected my small welding ship, and somehow it just ended up like causing the entire ship to just go haywire. So I've seen this happen in a couple different occasions, but it's actually yet to happen to me on such a large scale with such a large ship. I have the hiccups, god damn it. So you guys, this is a larger version of the repair square. This is more of a sort of a larger destroyer. God, can I even do this with hiccups right now? I don't even know. I'm gonna try to continue, but yeah, it's a lot much of a larger scale, so it has god damn it, the maximum of 10 welders. As you can see right here, we have 2 welders able to project and weld in all 6 of these rocket launchers on the top here, as well as 2 welders on the top to sort of support the armor that is surrounding somewhat of the missile bays. Oh my god. Alright everybody, so we have just gotten back from our little PvP skirmish. It was about 25-30 minutes ago. We are still doing a lot of work on our little flying saucer here. So pretty much what we're working on is a lot of the large thrusters, as well as we're poking in some small thrusters in sort of some hidden positions in case all of the large thrusters decide to either stop working or get completely destroyed or something along those lines. It's beginning to shape up into quite an interesting vessel. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is have most of these thrusters on the inside that are a little bit protected, so I'm going to raise up the sort of the ceiling of the ring just a couple blocks further, as well as sort of coat the outside of this with the actual like Gatling turrets, missile turrets, and long-range turrets in whatever combination I decide to put them. So pretty much the outside ring is going to be for most of the offensive capabilities. I might put a couple Gatlings up top here to sort of be sort of like a missile defense system, so just have them targeting missile, like rockets and missile turrets and things like that. So you guys, we have a pretty good ship going on here. I'm not sure where the cockpit area is going to be, so I have something sort of starting to take a little bit of a form on the top here. Very box-like at the moment. I think I'm going to extend it just a little bit further. So we have a little bit of a cockpit area down here, as you can see. Not 100% sure what I'm doing right now, but it's probably gonna work out just fine. And now we start the most time-consuming part about online public survival, and that would be the refinery speeds. And these are beastly refineries. Don't get me wrong; these refineries are pretty much the equivalents of like 18 vanilla refineries. So it's not like they're slacking at all. It's just they're taking a long time. Are they even working? No, they're working. Yeah, they're working. They just weren't, the mass wasn't changing, so it was worrying me. But yes, just the long and just the endless process of trying to produce these ore deposits into actual components. I might as well throw the stone down here. Oh, this is completely filled. One of my raw ore containers. So yeah, we're waiting. This is the waiting game, my friends. I will see you in 1 second, which is realistically more like a couple hours, but I will see you in a couple hours. Alright, so we have finished putting the frame around the entire circle of this ship. What I'm realizing is I'm probably going to go up 1 further, if not 2. So I may make it level with the rocket launchers. I don't know if it's really going to affect the overall look of this ship. It may even make it look a little bit more saucer-like. But I'm trying to protect these upward and downward facing thrusters in here, because they are pretty crucial for this thing being able to maneuver. And you can see we sort of snuck in some gyroscopes on each side here, so everywhere these circles sort of had to straighten out a little bit. So it's looking less like a circle and more like something else. I mean, it still is looking pretty circle-like. It almost looks like a clover on the inside right now. We could make it the clover ship. So this is the 1 battle cannon. I'm not sure why it's looking over there, but it should be looking this way. It's facing this direction, because this is where my rocket launchers are. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting design, my friends. You know, I'm sort of trying to prioritize the rocket launchers on this thing, just because, you know, I've had so much success with the repair square and, you know, just using manual guns. And it's actually really fun, you guys. So, you know, for a long time I just used the turrets. And, you know, using the turrets is fine and all. I mean, there's still quite a bit of maneuvering that still needs to be done as you as the pilot. But things are just so much more amplified. And you feel a lot more in tone with the battle when you are actually using manual weapons like the rocket launchers or the Gatling guns, or the elite Gatling guns, if you're really doing it. So yeah, I'm sort of trying to mix it up with this one. I'm going to have a good amount of automated weapons as well as some manual weapons that I'm sort of going to try to focus on more than anything else. So it should be quite an interesting design. The repair square is, you you know, pretty much the main inspiration behind this thing. I wanted to have sort of compartmentalized little sections within this ship that could repair itself via the projector. So the way I'm going to do that probably is I'm just going to like go to creative and chop off the little support beams I have going on here on each 4 sides. Because, you know, I don't want to project this entire thing. It's pretty much just this little cylinder right here that has all the stuff that actually has the welders that can reach the projections and whatnot. So we still got a little bit of gyroscope work to do. We're going to cover this up with some heavy armor. We're probably going to take this thruster and sort of embed it into the side of this, so make it stop being sloped at about like probably about right here. So it's going to be a pretty interesting design, my friends. I've sort of been struggling to make this thing. I've sort of started over a couple times, and the first time I was not going for a circle in any means, but the second time I'm actually trying to make a heavy armor, sort of like saucer. I sort of took a little bit of alien inspiration along with the repair square, which is looking weird as hell right now. What is wrong with your repair square? Oh my Jesus. Oh, okay, so we may need to F5, apparently. But this is actually a pretty interesting look at the repair square. You can actually see, like, the inner workings of it. God damn, yeah, it's looking sexy, though. And that brings me back to that little fight we had in the beginning of the episode. There was no commentary behind it. There was just a little sprinkle of commentary, just because when I'm in full panic mode, it's hard for me to put together the commentary when I'm trying to survive for my life. So when I'm confident, you know, you might hear some commentary of me like trying to announce things as they're happening. But I was silent, and I was trying to. There was honestly a moment near the end where I was panicking because my camera went out, and he was going so extremely fast. This really small ship with elite Gatling guns, and I just couldn't get a good shot on him. And, you know, my turrets at that point were all already pretty much destroyed. So, yeah, I've taken out much bigger ships with the repair square and not had to deal with any of the threat of me thinking I was actually going to lose the ship. But that one, we just kept going back and forth and having little skirmishes. A lot easier to shoot people with Gatling guns because, you know, there's the delay between the fire and actually hitting whatever you're shooting at is almost instant. So I could see green little lasers like going through the cargo container like directly in front of me, and I was like, shit, I don't know why that's not hurting me, but we're still repairing ourselves, so that might be why. So yes, rocket launchers versus elite Gatling guns. It's a little tough for the rocket launchers. They have about the same range. I think the elite Gatling guns might actually have it by about 200 meters. So yeah, I had a little bit of a problem with that thing. A little bit of a problem with that light fighter. But we actually ended up getting out of there, and I promise you, we repaired the repairable ship. But for some reason, it's looking really strange right now. We're working with just the frame. So you guys, we're going to be doing a little more work on whatever this alien saucer is going to be called. I'm thinking of names. If I don't find one, definitely leave one in the comments, and if there is a good one, I will definitely latch onto it. I will definitely credit yo punk ass. But this thing, you know, not looking bad. All heavy armor, not even a shred of light armor on this thing. I hope she does good. So everybody, let's get a good look at this sexy monstrosity. Very good looking saucer, if I've ever seen one. We are currently teleporting all over our little base. As you can see, here is the ever so popular jump ring that Mr. Constipated Bear has decided to park here. He is also ejecting stone, it would look like. Very good idea of him. I'm actually going to disable these jump drives, just because there's been some rumors going around that you can be tracked via the jump drive inhibitor and the jump drive, so It's yet to happen to me personally, but I still like to turn off the jump drives just in case. So this thing is a beast. We have completely coated it with turrets on each and every side of the top and the bottom of the ring. So pretty much we have missile turrets and the one large battle cannon on the top here. Of course is conveyed. It also has some welders that are sort of peeking on the bottom of it, so it can be repaired as well as projected and completely rebuilt if it's destroyed. On the bottom here we have all of the long-range turrets. Now, I always like to put long-range turrets on any large battleship just because it gives you a good idea of where people are, as well as it really sort of distracts people and sort of makes them fear for their lives a lot sooner than the 800 meters. Because when you're within the 800 meters to actually use the missile turrets on the bottom here, they can be using battle cannons and they can be using rocket launchers. So it's really that's when the majority of the damage happens for both sides of the battle. And it's nice to be able to sort of engage someone before that happens, so that's why I have all these long-range turrets. I believe I have 17 long-range turrets, including these ones on the top. All of them conveyed. Well, they're not all conveyed. They all need cargo containers in order to function, because that's how you load them. But as you can see, we have, just a see-through interior walkway plate that we can sort of access things through. So yes, a good amount of missile turrets, 17 long-range turrets, 13 missile turrets, and the one battle cannon. So 31 turrets in total on this beastly saucer monstrosity. I'm sure, not 100% sure what we're calling it. We are still teleporting across the map. So this is the Great White and a repair vessel that my buddy Bear is working on. So as you can see, his repair vessel has a lot more turrets on it. A lot more rocket launchers, I should say. It doesn't have any turrets, but... So, you guys, we have the ship. It's been built. Took an incredible amount of time, about 2 or 3 days of just constantly working on this thing. It's a lot of metal grids, a lot of steel plates on this, so we did not take the cheap method. We completely welded in all of the metal grids as well as the steel plates, so it's not the half-ass version of heavy armor. It is the full survival-ready heavy armor frame of the ship. It's pretty much all heavy armor. There's not even a scrap of light armor on this thing. So, my friends, we're going to take this out in the next episode. We're going to load it up with ammo. Obviously, it needs a lot of ammo for the top long-range turrets and the bottom missile turrets. So we will probably getting into that in the next episode. I mean, we could take it out to Thorium today. There aren't that many people on at the moment. It's just, I sort of want my buddies to see this. I want everybody to get a good look at this ship if it does end up getting destroyed. That would be tragic as hell to put 3 days of work into a ship and then have it be destroyed the first day you take it out. But that's always a real possibility in survival. So, my friends, for the end of this episode, I'd like to thank you for sticking with me while I've been building this awesome black saucer. I think I'm actually going to paint it white. Let's actually take a look at the inside little protected column here. So this thing is completely coated in blast door blocks on the outside, the very inside and the outside. So the middle is basically blast door blocks, and the inside and the outside frame is all heavy armor. As I said, we got the full metal grids in there, so it's not cheap heavy armor by any means. So not a lot of room to work with in here. You have a medical panel and 2 cockpits. Enough room to where we can be blasted out of one of the cockpits and not fly through the frame of the ship and actually be able to access the cockpit behind it. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this little walkway thing. It's supposed to have a ladder on this side. You can't really use the ladder, but it just looks cool. It's a cool modded block, but for some reason I just can't. At no angle can I weld this in. So the only way I can weld this in is actually if I have to delete a heavy armor block on this side, so it's not going to like totally mess up the whole design of this thing. I can put it back. It's going to be a little tough to put it back though. But yeah, for some reason with the blast door blocks and the heavy armor, it just sees straight through what I'm trying to weld, and it doesn't even appear that it's even noticing that it's there. So a little unfortunate, but the cockpit room is starting to take a little bit of form. I really like the ladders, though. A callback to the days of old. So, my friends, we finished this ship. For the end of today's episode, we're actually going to take the repair square out to Thorium and see if we can get into a little bit more mischief. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to see anybody there, but this guy named Deerslayer is on, and he is a big fan of camping Thorium, so I highly anticipate seeing him there. So yes, my friends, we've gotten a lot done in this episode. We have completely finished this ship. It's taken me about a week. That's why we haven't uploaded in so long. There are a bunch of showcases I wanted to get to of some new ships that have been coming out in the workshop. But I've been trying to complete a battleship for all you guys that we could all be proud of and we could all succeed with. And it's not the biggest ship, so I'm definitely going to consider building some bigger, sort of like some cool rooms on the inside here. I didn't really have much room to have much of an interior for this ship, but it's still going to work out just fine, you guys. So I'm still very excited, and the anticipation is very real. Because when you take 4 days to build a ship, and you know the first time you take it out in survival, it's going to be a little scary, my friends. So we're going to take the repair square out. Basically, all we got to do to this thing, we've already completely repaired it. Probably took like less than 5 minutes to repair this thing completely. We actually took off all the turrets. We used to have some Gatling turrets as somewhat of our missile defense, but we actually ended up taking all those off besides the one long-range turret for targeting, just because we needed to put them on the new battle saucer. Still not 100% sure what I'm calling that, you guys, so I'm very open to suggestions. So let's take the repair square out for one last, well, not one last, I'm sure we won't die, but if we do die, it will be one last adventure for this very simple yet eloquent design. So I'll see you guys in 1 second. Alright, my friends, we have been staking out Thorium for the past half an hour. Haven't seen anybody, but then again, there isn't actually that many people on, so there's only about 6 people on. When I left Thorium, there was about 15 people on, so we sort of seen an exodus. People are going to bed and whatnot, so we did end up getting a good amount of Thorium with Sultan, so we were here for probably over an hour while he was gathering up the Thorium while I protected him for really not really much for protection. We didn't see anybody the entire time we were here, but you know, better be safe than sorry, my friends. Alright, everybody, so this has been a pretty eventful episode. We did a little bit of PvP in the beginning. We ended up building a giant flying saucer, and now we're in the process of loading it up with a bunch of ammo, which actually takes a considerable amount of time, considering just the amount of time it takes to process platinum and magnesium. So, my friends, I'd like to thank you for watching. In the next couple videos, we should be moving on to some showcases and stuff, but we will be moving on after that back to survival. We're going to continue playing, but it might be a couple weeks until we see the next episode. In the next couple videos, we should be moving on to some showcases. There's a plethora of really cool ships that have come out recently. Really cool ships and stations and amusement parks and just a bunch of crazy stuff that's been uploaded to the workshop in the past couple weeks. So I can't wait to get into that, and I can't wait to get back into survival, my friends. I will see you in the near future, and once again, my friends, this is Luke the Duke, and good night, and good luck.